think I was babysitting like 6 kids down the street just to make money on the side to like live. And I just wanted to be able to replace that. I didn't want to have to do other things. I just want to do one thing. I didn't want to have another side gig. I was able to like sign clients on like every month. I'd get like one more client, and then another month would come around, I'd get in one more, then another month I'd get two. And I would just slowly kind of grew at a pace that I was able to manage. Before I knew it, I was making more money than I ever have in pharmacy. In pharmacy, I worked for 6 years, and I pretty much capped out at about like $17.50 an hour after 6 years working up the totem pole, and I was making more and working less.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy podcast. We empower busy moms and aspiring entrepreneurs to start a thriving bookkeeping business from home with practical tips, expert interviews, and real-life success stories. All right. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I have Kaylie Douglas here with me, and I'm super excited for all of you guys to learn everything about Kaylie's journey in her business and how exciting it is that you can replicate this for yourself. So thank you so much for doing this interview with me, Kaylie.
Yes, absolutely. I love meeting with you, Tiffany. So
I love meeting with you as well. And it's always so exciting to hear all of the, growth that you have and all the changes that are going on with your business and stuff and how it's impacted your life in such a positive way. So I'm excited to share that with everybody today. And I guess the first thing I would love to do to just dive in is if you could tell everyone a little bit about why you even wanted to do this in the first place, what made you want to start a bookkeeping business, and what is your main why and your main reason for doing this?
Yes, I'll give a little bit of a background so you can understand my why. But I, at the very beginning of 2019, was really looking for a way to work from home to be with my daughter. I had recently gone through a divorce. I was a single mom. I had a background in pharmacy, and I was working, long hours and in the medical field. And it was rough trying to take care of a small child on my own. So I moved back home with my parents, and I tried lots of ways to make money from home, and nothing really fit in with the things that I love to do and the things that I was really good at, and nothing really worked for me that I tried. And then I had a Facebook ad come across for the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy in 2019. And I was so excited to do this because of my why, right? My why was to take care of my daughter, and I wanted to be able to provide for my family and provide for myself, and really just have that financial freedom to be able to work from home, have my own schedule, and just be present and not have to have my daughter in daycare and not be able to feel like I was like raising her and spending that time with her. Like, really, family is everything to me. So that was big. But anyway, I did get remarried and was excited to kind of jump into starting something new. And the bookkeeping business just fell in line with what I love to do. Accounting was not something I had a background in at all. So this was not something that I knew, but it was something I was willing to learn. So my strengths have always been in like math, really organization and attention to detail. That's what I did best in the pharmacy industry. And so this really kind of fit into what I love and what like the things that I do well. So I really started it to also just be able to help people like I did in the medical field as well. I wanted to help people still. I had a big passion. I have a big heart, and this was a way I can help small businesses. And I'm so glad that I started it in 2019 because 2020, small businesses needed me as a bookkeeper. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
it honestly filled my cup. It was perfect timing. And everything just really lined up for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I always tell people, especially people that are like in the medical field or teachers or, people that just really do like to genuinely help other people or educate them or support them or just try to make their lives better. Bookkeeping is such a great business to go into because it really does do that. Our clients end up feeling so relieved that they have us that it's just a really helpful field. It's not just a way to make money. It really is a way to impact business owners and help them. Yeah. So I know you mentioned that you didn't really have a background in accounting. Can you tell us what kind of experience did you have with QuickBooks or with bookkeeping or accounting in general before you dove in and decided to do this?
Yeah, so like I said, I had no background in accounting or bookkeeping or anything like that. Um, I always managed my own money well, so I feel like I had that going for me. But other than that, this was all new territory. So when I decided to, do the stay at home bookkeeper academy, that is where I was able to learn what I needed to do and how to do it and build that confidence because it was so new. Um, but I mean, I had a great experience learning it. It was really fun. It definitely wasn't something that was difficult or hard. It was just something took time and you really I had to just learn it as I went. I learned better doing than watching. And so I really wanted to get my client just right off the bat, my first client, and just get started. And I was able to lean on the support group and everything to um, not feel that like stress and the unknown. Anytime I had a question or my new client had a question, I was able to easily give them an answer and have a solution to whatever I needed to do in their bookkeeping. But I love QuickBooks Online, and I actually solely use QuickBooks Online for all of my clients now. And I think it's great. It's user friendly, and I mean the whole learning process was actually really fun for me.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. So you mentioned how you wanted to just jump right in and get your first client and kind of use that client as getting experience and hands-on learning and everything. So can you talk a little bit about what that journey was like as you started your business, you joined the academy and you started marketing? What did that whole like maybe first year of your business look like?
Yeah, so the first year, I mean, I got my first client. Okay, I gotta kind of think of the timeline in my
I know
mind.
it's been a while.
And I've been doing this for like 4 years now, so it's been a little bit. But I do know that I started the academy like right at the end of 2019, and I got my first client like October. So like I think I got my first client within like a few weeks, maybe
Yeah.
a month at most after signing up and like not knowing anything. Um, but it was great. It was a great experience. I still have that client as well. They've been with me full time. It was totally an organic client that I got off Facebook. But I just followed, you know, the process. You really just you jump in and you learn as you go, and you set up your business, and you get to the fun stuff, and you get to pick your business name, and you get to kind of like create an awesome little website, and you get to start telling your friends and your family that you're doing something fun and new and that you're passionate about. And then you just get to start helping people. It really is fun. But I kind of, when I first started it, I had a really small mindset, and I was like, I just want to do this to be able to provide just enough. But that's really kind of the beginning. And I tried a lot of different little things with marketing, of course. I was on Facebook. I was just getting the word out. I was networking with people. I did some LinkedIn campaigns, some cold emailing. I had my husband do some cold calling and stuff, and that was kind of fun. And then I joined a BNI group and I did some in-person networking, and I did a lot of little things. I definitely don't think there's one marketing tactic that's better than another. I think it's good to have clients come from all sorts of funnels, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and then, trying everything, you don't know which way you're going to actually even like until you get out there and kind of try them all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you end up picking kind of like a favorite path that you liked with marketing or your favorite way to get clients?
I do have a favorite, yes. And
All
it's
right, what's
not
that?
been mentioned yet. So as I got into, I think it was after the first year in my business, I kind of started to connect with more tax professionals. And that's when I decided to make partnerships with different CPAs in my area. And so I actually get a ton of organic, warm leads in my email inbox, like weekly now, just from my CPAs and tax professionals that I have connected with. So that is my favorite way to get clients, is actually working with people in my same like industry, tax professionals, even other bookkeepers who are maxed out and want to, refer people to somebody that they can trust. Because bookkeeping, it's not really a competitive market. Like, there is enough clients out there and people, business owners that need these services that it's not competitive. Like, I'm friends with all the bookkeepers in my area, and we like
Yeah.
share clients, leads, referrals. And when someone doesn't want to work with somebody, like, hey, do you want to work with them? Like,
Yeah.
it's really, it's an awesome industry to be in.
That is great. Yeah, I love that. It's a really great way to market, and there's never any competition. There's just so many people out there that need our help. So, yeah, great point. So, when you mentioned, which I love that you brought this up, that when you first started, you had like a small goal and a small mindset. So, can you talk about like what changed that and how did it change?
Yeah. So yeah, I did. I came into this kind of with a small mindset. I didn't have any kind of business mentoring or anything like that prior. And like I said, I was just trying to make money to provide for my family. But once I started to realize how much money I could make and how easy it was, it really just kind of like hit me like, is this really happening to me? Um, I was like able to, like, we actually made a decision 2 years into my business for my husband to quit his full-time job. And he jumped all in on the business with me, and he's a stay-at-home dad, and I get to work from home. It's completely changed our life and what our goals were. And now, I have a lot bigger of goals. Like I guess I could share my numbers from
Yeah.
the last couple years so you guys can understand the growth that I've been able to have just within 4 years of even doing this from zero to now. But my first year in business, I made $33,000, which
Mhm.
was amazing to start out and not know what I'm doing, and then to make that kind of money, and to be able to handle it all on my own and not have to work full time. That was huge for me,
Mhm.
and exactly what I needed at the time. Well, year two, the second year in business, I was able to make $90,000.
That is awesome. Tripled.
That's crazy. I thought, like, "How is this really happening to me?" That's why my husband was able to quit his job. He wasn't even making close to that just on his own.
Yeah.
So I was able to do that for our family. Well, year three in the business, so just this last year, I made $263,000.
Woohoo! That is amazing.
I say that out loud and I'm like, this is still real. Um, and it's been life-changing. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I was able to build my own house that I get to live in with my kids. I have my own house now. I finished my backyard. I have a ton of concrete. Concrete's expensive.
Yeah. Building a house and decorating it and
Yeah,
designing it is
furnishing it all. So it's been amazing. And then this year, just in the last 6 months, I've been able to bring in like $160,000. So I'm on track to make over 300,000 easy, or maybe even more, because I do plan to have a lot of growth at the end of this year. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. So, okay. Can you, if your QuickBooks is still up, can you change it to like all dates? Because I'd love to know, just since you started your business, what is the total amount of money that you've made in the last like less than 4 years?
yes, it's been less than 4 years, and I have made $544,000.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Over
exciting.
$500,000.
I love that. That is so exciting. Yay. Oh my gosh, how cool. And I mean, thinking about like just even sticking with like your pharmacy technician job, like it would have taken you 10 years to make that or something. I don't know.
I'd have to do the math, but I couldn't have done even close to this.
Yeah. And you've had so much more flexibility and so much more time that you could spend with your family. And, you get so much more control over your life too.
Oh yeah, that has been huge.
That
The
is
time I've
awesome.
spent with my kids and my husband being home. Like, I don't know anyone in my like neighborhood, or like anybody that I know, like even in my family, that has that kind of, I feel like it's a luxury. It's
Mhm.
it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's so awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on all your success. And I know you've worked really hard for it. So I'm proud of you. And I know you're proud of yourself, as you should be. And I know your husband, Jason, is very proud of you also. So I definitely want to congratulate you for all of your hard work. So that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Seriously, I couldn't have done it if I never met you.
I'm glad our paths crossed on Facebook. But the next thing I kind of wanted to dive into is like how your mindset can have an effect on results. So how do you feel like that has come into play over the years as you've been learning new things and learning to be a business owner and learning how to do your marketing and just having a business in general? How has your mindset come into play, and what have you worked on in regards to that?
Yeah, mindset. I mean, people probably hear this all the time, but mindset really is everything. I don't know how else to better explain it than like it dictates how you think, how you feel. Like your mind controls everything about you. And
Mhm,
so I really have had to put myself into mindset checks, because I'm human, and
mhm,
a business can be a roller coaster. So I haven't, like, I can't let like things that might seem scary or fearful, or like something that might seem like bad news, cause me to think that this isn't going to work for me, or have these negative thoughts, or I can't do this anymore, this is too hard. And really turn that into like positive thinking, and realizing like I have complete control over my business. Like that's really, that's why I started a business, so that I could have control, and to not let the business take control of me, and really
mhm,
realize that I am the boss. Like if I
mhm,
don't like something, I don't have to do it. If I want to make a certain dollar amount, I can reverse calculate with numbers exactly what that means for me. And then
mhm,
I can just go do it and take the action. And that is powerful to me, working a 9 to 5, like working for somebody else. You have caps and you have things, and you're working under somebody else's, to-do list, really. I'm able to
mhm,
make my own. Like I have to always think about that kind of power that I gave myself, and making the choice to start my business, and realize that that is worth any kind of like temporary stress or temporary fear of the unknown that I might be feeling and not be scared of that. That's really, I guess, the main thing. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things in mindset, but it's just healthy to think positive. I definitely think having like a business mentor or like a life coach, things like that, it's
Hmm.
huge. That helps put your mindset in check. Uh,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's important because you like at least I get inside my own head a lot. So
Hmm.
it's always nice to have somebody that you can have look at what's going on from the outside perspective
Hmm.
and help bring you back down to like reality.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone can always use help with that. And, you know, positive thinking is important. And I think it's not a default. You know what I mean? Like most people just automatically have negative thoughts, right? That pop into their head. And so I think when we talk about like working on your mindset, it's like working on maybe acknowledging those thoughts, but realizing that they aren't you, they aren't the truth, and you can change them to something more positive and then decide to listen to those thoughts instead.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah, I really think that there's no such thing as consequences. I think everything happens for a reason. So like as you know, as I go through life, I try to have that mindset in all things.
Hmm. Yeah, even if it's a hard thing or a challenge, later on, you might realize, why you had to deal with that. You won't know right away, but maybe you'll learn about that later and you're glad that you went through it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what aside from like working on your mindset and like kind of improving your positive thinking and things like that, what other skills do you feel like you have really been able to learn and change about yourself since you became a business owner? What are some specific skills that you're kind of proud to have now?
Oh yes. Well, first of all, I think it's like getting out of my comfort zone and like actually talking to people. I definitely was not the extrovert type and still am not. But I've been able to kind of break out of that fear. And now I'm more comfortable and I love meeting new people and I love talking about things. It's fun because now I have something to talk about, I feel like, I can go out and talk about my business and I can go out and help people that way. That's been awesome. But I've learned a lot of skills, honestly. I've been able to like learn how to budget for my own life. I've been able to budget for other companies. I've had opportunities to do like CFO work for large companies, and like I've had tons of opportunities to do as a business owner, so like to work for these other companies doing different bookkeeping and payroll and CFO and business tax kind of stuff. So I've learned so many things. I have so many skills and um like, I keep learning. This industry is like a never ending learning cycle. Like every year there's new stuff. There's new industries and types of businesses that need certain things. And it's not the same thing all the time, which I enjoy. It's nice to change it up a little bit and to continue to have that personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I don't always ask this question, but I feel like it's something that kind of stands out to me is like the growth that we have running this business is something that you can then like pass down to your kids. Whereas, like, if you hadn't done this before, you probably would have never experienced these things. You would have never changed in this type of way. And then your kids would have never really been exposed to a new way of being and thinking and all these extra skills.
Yeah, that is such a great point. Like, my kids are growing up in an environment where like both parents are at home and they're like we're always around and we get to go and do fun things and we get to go on vacations and stuff. Like I didn't grow up with a lifestyle
Mhm.
like that. And to be able to have these kinds of leadership skills that I've developed, like leadership skills, financial skills, and like being able to show my kids that like they can do anything. Like
Mhm.
they can go out and make a certain dollar and per year, or they can go out and start their own business. They can go and change the world. They can go and save, I don't know, save the turtles or whatever their dream is. Like they can go out and do that because, I feel like I was in a really rough spot before I did this. And like, if I can do this from where I was, I felt really rock bottom to be able to have a life like this. Like anybody can do this and it
Yeah.
can only get better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just you keep going and you keep growing, and then there's more and more opportunities at every level and every stage that you get to. And even though sometimes there are some challenges as you're growing and you have to learn new skills and learn how to be a boss and learn how to hire and all these other things, I feel like for me, I'm glad that I'm experiencing those things, because then when my kids get to the age where they're starting their business and then they want to go through the like hiring people, I will have so much experience to pass down to them. Because and for me, I make more money than anyone in my family ever. Anybody, I don't know any single person that I'm related to, that maybe one person that in my family that makes more money than me. And so it's like I had to learn all of this because I didn't really have like, someone that was close to me that was teaching me these things. But now we will be able to teach our kids these things. So they're already like 10 steps ahead in their life than where we were when we were kids. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
kind of cool.
totally. Like I can tell them all the things to avoid and all the things to go for.
Yeah.
And that is what's rewarding. It kind of circles back to my why, right? Like
Mhm.
did this for my family and my kids are going to be able to have the same knowledge that I have
Yeah.
because I can share that with them and they can be successful too in whatever they do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. So what are some of your favorite types of clients that you've worked with?
Yeah, so I actually never have picked a niche, but um I mean I work with a lot of different types of clients and industries. My favorite clients, like industry wise or types of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can explain about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some industries that are like more um like detailed than others or that need extra things that some don't. And it kind of depends on the size of businesses and things like that. I don't know if I have a specific favorite industry necessarily because I like to keep things different. Like
Mhm.
I like to have a lot of different contrast in what I do. But as far as like types of people I like to work with, that's a little bit easier for me to talk about because like my ideal client is going to be somebody who is wanting to actually make positive financial changes, that is looking to, you know, receive advice and wants to take action, and somebody who is a good communicator that isn't going to just not talk to me for like a year, right? Or not answer my
Mhm.
questions because then I can't complete work. Like I need somebody who wants to communicate and um, values what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And so, most business owners, they really do. They do value and they understand the time because a lot of business owners try to do it on their own
Yeah.
and they know that it's difficult because they don't understand it. They don't have the time to learn it. They want to get it off their plate. And a lot of times they just need a bookkeeper. And
Yeah.
once they figure that out, then they're able to spend the time that is now very minimal to just respond to the monthly questions for their bookkeeping or the biweekly questions for payroll or anything needed. And it saves them so much time. But yeah, those are my ideal clients, someone who communicates well and that really wants to work with a professional that can help them.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's good. And you get to choose, if you find out there's somebody that, it doesn't really fit that, you can always let them go or, choose not to work with them, which is, the beauty of having your own business.
Yeah, and I've absolutely done that. I've been
Yeah.
able to, work with people that I love working with, that I've worked with from the very beginning of when I started. And then there's some clients that I have had in the past where it just wasn't a good fit, or they just weren't communicating well, or whatever it is. I do have that freedom, and I
Yeah.
can disengage at any time and still have helped them with what I was able to, and leave them better off than they were, and
Hmm.
still have control over the way I'm treated and the way that I spend my time with work and with my family. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, so if there are some people watching that are, really interested in replicating your results by, making $500,000 over the next 3 or 4 years, and they're kind of thinking about starting their business and joining the academy, what advice do you have for them?
my advice would be to not let fear stop you, or the unknown. And if any of that sounds good to you, it is more than worth um, starting, to just start, and to not, you know, I guess, to not go slow, or to not let your mindset hold you back,
Mhm.
really. To just get started and get your first client, and then get your second client, and not know what you're doing, because that's the point. That's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, is to just go for it. Go for that dream. Realize that your why really matters, and that there are people out there, and clients, like leads out there, business owners that need you. They're out there. I don't know that there's enough bookkeepers out there, honestly.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah. So jumping in with both feet and then taking one step forward and then another step forward and another step forward. I love it. Great advice. Thank you so much for being on here and sharing your journey and all of this awesome information about what you've done to grow your business, and really appreciate your time. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. So glad that I was able to jump on.
So if you guys really enjoyed this interview and you liked what you heard here, and you are considering wanting to find more information about starting your own bookkeeping business and or joining the Bookkeeper Academy, and you want to learn your options, click the link here and book a free discovery call with our team. We would love to talk to you and see if this is something that would work for your family.